Next, to the scandal viewed as the biggest treatment disaster in the history of the NHS. Almost 5,000 people were given blood products contaminated with HIV and hepatitis in the 70s and 80s.
It took decades for campaigners to get the public inquiry they so desperately wanted. That started eventually in April 2019 and is still going on. With 419 people dying since the inquiry began, campaigners in our region say if they have to wait for compensation, many more will miss out on what they're entitled to. Helen reports.
Mel McKay is getting used to newfound freedom near her home in Bridlington. She has various health conditions, including HIV, and spent nearly 2 years indoors.
The pandemic affected my mental health and well-being because obviously I was one of those ones that had to also shield. So it's been a challenging couple of years.
What makes it even harder to deal with is that her situation was avoidable. Her HIV was caused by being given infected blood by the NHS as a child. She's defied doctors who said she wouldn't make it past 10 years old. But she can't live her life to the full, she says, because she's still waiting for the compensation a public inquiry says she deserves.
It'll be great to be able to have a lot more freedom and having a life and enjoying fun.
She's one of thousands affected by the scandal, but campaigners say the inquiry they fought for, which began 3 years ago, is taking too long. Their call for interim payments before the inquiry is over is backed by a top barrister who's made that recommendation to the inquiry.
Will the Minister now say that interim payments will be made to...
And Diana Johnson has urged the Prime Minister to listen.
This could be a very positive measure, part of his legacy, doing the right thing for this group of people who have been so badly treated by the state over so many years.
Well, the government wouldn't be drawn on whether the payments would be one of Boris Johnson's final acts in Downing Street. In fact, the Cabinet Office said it still needed time. A spokesman said, "We acknowledge Sir Robert's recommendations, but it is important we have time to reflect upon it to form part of our consideration." But for Mel, it's a cloud that's already been hanging over her life for far too long.
It's about time we can be able to actually get on with our lives instead of fighting, because we've been fighting for 40 years. So please, government, just get your act in gear and help us victims.
Helen, ITV News.